The world is on fire. Or it's not. There's always that. Yeah, so Axis should be joining me in a little bit. Axis Alive, everyone. Will be here in a little bit. Oh, streaming. And apparently StreamYard's posting my comments twice. I was talking to Harmonic Hexkin here, and it's posting. StreamYard's been having some funny problems. They couldn't post to Twitter the other day, and then I enabled the when you're a guest. It was always annoying. I had to bring up the YouTube video, and I couldn't talk to chat through StreamYard. And now I saw they have connect. You can connect your YouTube account to StreamYard in order to talk to them in the chat on StreamYard window instead of having to go to YouTube. So I turned that on. That was working great yesterday on Litstream. And then now they have some like double posting deal. They work pretty well most of the time, so can't be too bad. Anyways, welcome to the show, Harmonic Hexkin. More things shift around. Validating seems least stressful. It certainly does. You basically put your coins, you deposit them in a contract, how many validators you want to make, and then you run the hardware. And you can do that at home, or you can do it in the cloud, and you just don't really need to think about it after that. It's pretty good. I check my balances and stuff every week or two, maybe. It's really not that. It's fun, but then it's just like, just goes away, right? Kind of like staking. So yeah, that was fun. And then so actually right before I started the stream, I've been talking to people telling them about, they've been asking, cloud expensive. And I'm like, yeah, it is, AWS. And that's the one I'm most familiar with and I've used for years. But I've also been checking out DigitalOcean and Linode. So I may have I'm going to evaluate those and then see which one that I may be moving my validator to. And maybe I'll move it to one of those. But I want to do some cost evaluations too. It seems like at least Linode may be cheaper. They give you an estimate beforehand too. We'll see. But yeah, right now AWS is just too expensive, even for excuse me. I don't really pay attention to price much. I definitely optimize towards saving time, spending money to save time a lot. I'm fortunate enough to be able to do that in a lot of cases. So I really just like to make things easier, and I'll spend a little bit more money for premium service. Just the way I do things these days. And I love AWS, but it just doesn't make a lot of sense to do validating there, because especially if you're doing the M2 2x large, I'm going to get another bill and I'm going to see how much it is. I already complained about the last bill to them, and they're like, yeah, we're in Vegas, and it didn't really help. So, because I was doing a lot of stuff, I was doing more than just my validator. I was running the test scripts on other instances and other servers. I had a lot going on, but still it was like, okay, guys, I can't pay you this much per month. It's ridiculous. So I cut everything down, only running my validator now, and we'll see how much it costs, but it's still going to be probably the upper hundreds of dollars. So with Linode or DigitalOcean, it could be half that, and that would be more acceptable. I guess if you ask me, like, what would be acceptable monthly cost to run a validator in the cloud, I would say I feel like $300 is pretty good. I'd be happy if it was $300, maybe $400. I feel like $300 is a pretty sweet number. So if I get it down to around $300 a month, that is comparable, not exact, to. Well, I was going to say it's comparable to if you were to buy buy your own machine. But if you could build a machine for $500, $1,000, go to validatorstore.com. You can pay $2,000 for a really, really nice beefy one. Some people, I'm sure, paid even much more than that for really cool validators. Do whatever you want. But I think so $300,000 times 12 is what, $3,600 a year. I think it's okay. $3,600 a year to run a validator. If you saw the spreadsheet, Gold Key did some math on that too, and allowed us to calculate it. So you can go with your cost benefit analysis and all that with it too. Anyways, that's validating. Though, if you have any validator questions, feel free to bring them up. I'm just going to kind of go off a few different things. You saw me do the stream yesterday, and I'm just like, come on, I know it's the bear market, but everyone just it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. So I said Axis is coming on in a little bit. And I'm going to, yeah, ask questions. What's up, Alex? What's happening? Oh, that's good. You should take a hike like 22. Ooh, I'm looking outside. The weather is gorgeous right now. I was literally, before I streamed, I was like, I kind of want to go outside, but I'm going to use my time, try to stream as much as I can lately. I don't know. It feels like I'm motivated right now. It may not always be that way. It may not always be as motivated. Funny enough, I think the FUD and the bear market and all this stuff makes me even more motivated. And I tweeted about this too. I did a poll. Which one makes you more motivated? Most people thinking you're going to fail, or most people think you're going to succeed. And everyone has their own thing. There's no right or wrong answer to it. But for me, I think that's been pretty motivating too, is just kind of not proving people wrong. I mean, I guess that feels good. You can make that a thing too. And it can be a healthy type of competition as well. Healthy kind of motivation. But I think just the fact that you're doing something so special that nobody understands, just this ecosystem is that special. It really is. I don't know. I think it's fun. It's maybe it's the rebels against the machine, rage against the machine, rebels with the cause. I guess I don't know how to put it, but it feels good to know that you're doing something special that not most people understand. And when they do understand, maybe they'll be buying your bags, or maybe you'll never sell. Who knows? Everyone's got their own thing. Mudhawk says, I didn't come to Shield, but I love PHUX. Yeah, I like it a lot too, actually. One of my favorite new products, I'll say, in the ecosystem. I've been getting in a lot into LP, and I like the way they do LP over there. Pretty cool. I like the team. I like, if you listen to Buck, all kinds of wisdom there. Dylan's awesome too. So pretty cool stuff over at phux.io. Jamal says, thoughts about liquidity routing on V2. Pools seem way less diluted. We will pull that up, Jamal. Let me do that. Let me pull it up. If y'all didn't see earlier too, I did earlier. Keep forgetting when I stream. I almost thought I streamed this morning, but I didn't. I thought about it, but I didn't. I didn't do Wake Up with Pulse Chain this morning. So last night I was talking about this and went through, and I kind of depth explained some of this too. This has to do with validators and the network and stuff like that too. So if anyone's confused or interested, let me know. I can talk about this as well. I don't really know much about Wallet Connect. That's the only thing where I'm like, I think that's just like an easy way to, I don't want to say connect your wallet. You know what? Let me just Google for Wallet Connect before I just guess out of nowhere. I can't remember. I think it's something to do with, it's like a Web3 way of, connecting to dApps. I was like, I know it's some kind of thing because Gifford where was talking about being able to use an impersonator if Wallet Connect supported it. And I think that's what it was. So it's a Web3 dApp connection thing. I don't know, I would like to know why that's, what scenario that's going to enable, because they didn't really talk about it. If that's going to be good for Pulse Chain part or Hex or otherwise, but let's go to the dApp. app.pulsex.com. Yeah, things are running a little bumpy too, I got to say. Getting transactions through. Do we need more validators? Can we have more validators come online? Maybe that would help. Been trying to do some transactions too, and it's just like, man, I don't know if we're going to have to redo them. They're sitting in the mempool for a while. It's interesting. But again, all kinds of things. We can sit here and complain. We go, oh, why doesn't the hex.com website work better than it does for Pulse Chain and otherwise? Why isn't, why are there buttons that, if there's no pools, why is this here? What else? Why do I got to click this to get to the pools here? Why isn't it just like so seamless and easy and everything just works great? And it's 6 weeks. That's why 6 weeks. So you want to be early? It's not always fun to be early. It can be profitable, but it doesn't always have to be fun. No guarantees here. Anyways, smallest question. Thoughts about LP, PLP, which is the token that gets created that you stake once you, oh, that's what you're saying then. Okay, you're basically asking about farms, aren't you? because that's LP. No, okay, you're just saying, just staking. My bad. Pool seems way less diluted. Which pool? Are you saying pools seem less diluted? I'm not sure the question, Jamal, if you want to rephrase that. There are a lot of pools. I haven't really checked the pools for a while. I've got some LP plays here too, but I don't browse the pools that often. Just when I'm making plays or putting my coins somewhere, basically coins that I can't stake or otherwise earn yield on, I tend to put them in LP. That's the way I've been doing it lately. I mean, of course, you got to be careful in permanent loss. You got to understand, are the ratios way off? Are they going to correct and or go up and down? Actually, I was talking to Sloth about this the other day too, and maybe I should answer. We were talking about some questions. I had some questions I was asking him, and see, I'll just DM him too. But I thought of something that was interesting on LP. So, for example, if you wanted to accumulate more PulseX or Pulse or whatever it was. So the question was around, like, wouldn't you wait for a run up? And then if you expect the ratio to change and correct back down, remove and add back the LP at the higher ratio if you were doing like Pulse or PulseX versus a stable coin. So when it goes back down, you get more of the coin that you actually want. So my brain was just kind of turned the other day. I was thinking of all these scenarios with that. So let me know if that makes sense. But that was like one thing I thought of, where you could basically get more of the coin, because once it goes the other way, you would get more of the coin. So if you wanted to accumulate instead of market buying, so you could do this market buying, market selling. That's the thing. Well, not market buying, buying and selling through LP is a thing you can do. It's called like silent selling or silent buying. And there's different ways you can do it. You can just like let it sit there and you can accumulate stuff, or you can play the ratios and just kind of like massage them to make it, different situations could present themselves to get where you can say, okay, if I put it at this ratio, I know that the ratios are going to diverge again, but it's going to diverge in the favor of giving me more of the coin that I want, for example. So different things like that. And then also another thought I was discussing with him was around, if you're swapping, so if you have a large percentage in a pool, for example, I wonder if you could basically use your own pool. So let's say you have a bunch in a pool, and then you have some liquid of whatever coin. And then, so you want to swap. So when you swap part of that, the LP fees and stuff like that, I wonder if it's like a way to cancel out the trading fees almost in a way, if you had enough percentage of a pool and you're swapping them. So I was thinking, like, is there a scenario where if you provide LP, you can basically cancel out the swap fees with the trading pairs because you have a percentage of the pool, because you're kind of making it back in the fees and stuff. Anyways, just some ideas I was throwing around. I should probably discuss them with Axis at some point as well, if he joins us. But that was just something I was thinking about. So Jamal says PulseX Pulse Chain LP on V2. Yeah, so the LP is on V2. Oh, I'm on V1. My bad. Whoops. Okay. So V2. Yeah, sorry. I was looking at it for a minute. Oh yeah, the Tetra pair is here, by the way, too. So again, I'm not sure about your question here. So I'll just explain the basics just so we're getting on the right page. So V1 is where the farms are, and the fees are getting burned. V2, there's no farms currently, but that's where all the LP is, because that's where you earn the LP fees. So yeah, it's just sorting here. LP reward. Does that say 10 million% on some of these coins? Wow. That's they actually have some volume somehow too. Interesting. Maybe that's what's slowing the network down. I knew something. There's got to be like a lot of transactions going on. How do you have 10 million% rewards? Is that what that means? That's crazy. Well, you know which pools look suspicious, right? You know what kind of games and stuff are happening around here. Anyways, I was gonna say Tetra. I invited Neil to come on some point as well. But yeah, there's a let's look at the Tetra pool. Wow, yeah. So Tetra just launched on Pulse Chain. The token finally launched on there, and wow, that's a lot of liquidity for something that just launched too. Pretty good. I mean, for a smaller project, LP fees, nice. Okay, pretty cool. Pretty cool. People are trading. So, oh yeah, Jamal says 40 million PLP is about 1% of the pool. Seems like a good deal. Are you saying so? Of which pool though? Because you create the PLP for different pairs for the pool that you're interested in joining. So when you say pool, are you saying the pools, or are you saying like the particular like liquidity pool where has people participating in it? Anyways, clarify if you'd like to. I can talk about it more. What's up, Ramon? See ya, Lunacy Point. What did I miss? Not a lot so far. Not a lot. Just looking around PulseX. Anyone want to talk about HEX? Feel free to. I know. Actually, I haven't even looked at the HEX chart or price or anything for a while. Let's look at EHEX. Wow, 1 month chart. Where was the Godwell sack? Was that like through here somewhere? Yeah, because it was 1 cent. And I think it dipped below it around that time. Yeah, I think it was. It must have been June 7th, June 8th, somewhere through there. So that is EHEX. And then anyone's interested in the Pulse coin list. Pulse coin list, you can look at, so not the charts. I guess what do people use for Pulse chain charts? I guess Dex Screener for those. Is that what we have right now? Oh wow. WBTC has been oscillating recently after Richard enabled the farm back up to 100. Okay. I know it went from 50 to 100-ish, back down to 80 some. I think it's back up again. And then, yeah, does that go to Dex Screener? Oh, it goes to PulseX. Okay. Let's go to, well, I guess GoPulse would have a chart. Baby chart on here, something. Okay. Oh, it just does use Dex Screener. Okay, cool. Well, that works too. All right. Yeah, look at that. Up and down, up and down, up and down. Boy, at 1197. Cool. Hex has we won't have much data on this because it's the pulse pair. Funny enough, but interesting. I'll leave the TA stuff to an actual TA person though, if Axis joins us here. Wow, ink just keeps going down. Again, I don't check these prices very often. It's funny when I look at them and they just go down. And it was a little surprising to PulseX under 3. Wow, under 3. You guys see the expression on my face? I'm not sad about any of this. I'm like, ugh, interesting. I don't know. It's one of those times. I don't think a lot of, so it's like the feeling of, are you looking to cash out? Are you looking to cash out when the market's down? If you're not looking to cash out when the market's down, why would you be sad if the price is down? Why would you be happy if the price is up when it's not even near your thing? I guess the camaraderie, you know, the good feelings of green candles, but I don't know. Oh, Neil for t-shirts here. Cool. I'll bring you in just a second, Neil. Jamal, you got free liquidity Friday? Yeah. So, okay. So I'll explain this. Just you may not be aware. So so we got the farms. Okay. So on the farms on V1, so there's two versions of PulseX now. On V1, you have the farms. On the farms, you can earn incentive token by providing LP and staking that LP on the farms. Stake LP tokens and earn incentive token, right? So you don't earn LP fees on V1 farms. And you don't earn them on the V1 pools. So make sure if you're doing pools, you do V2. V2, there are no farms. So there's no earning incentive token. There's no staking your LP tokens, but they're all our pools. And I love how, again, polishing, I click pools and it does the single size staking pools, which also don't exist right now, may or may not in the future. So if you click the ... and go to pools, then you can see on V2, there are pools where you earn the LP fees. Let me know if that makes sense. You now get the fees for swapping your pulse chain PulseX for PLP, or is INC the only way to get revenue? Yeah, I think I just explained that. So if you want to earn fees by LP, use V2 and provide LP. Again, do your own research, know the risks, permanent loss, all that stuff. If you want to earn INC token and not LP fees, then you can participate in the farms on V1. And these are the farms that are available. Okay. Pulse Chain 8-1. What's up, Crispy? Welcome, welcome. Red Squirrel's here as well. All right, Neil for T-shirts. What's happening, man?
Not much, not much. Just on the road today. Glad to be here.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you could jump on. I know that short notice, I was like, yeah, Tetra's on Pulse Chain now. I wanted to talk to you about that, and maybe you can tell people, oh, and there's a page update in progress. Okay. Yeah, do you want to give people a rundown of what's going on with Tetra the last 24 hours?
Yeah. So what was it, about 12 or so hours or however long ago it was, we ported everything over to Pulse Chain. So if you had whatever your copy was on ETH, we took a snapshot and you got the copy on Pulse Chain. It's called Tetra P for Pulse Chain. And so don't get confused. And it's the only thing that we will honor when the protocol launches on August 31st. Right now, the website's been updated, they're doing some information aggregation on the website side to get all the information out. When that's done here very shortly, within probably next, 12, 24, 48 hours, the rest of the airdrops and stuff will go out to all like the Telegram holders and the PulseX sacrificers. So.
Okay, awesome. And is it, because I know before there was an airdrop happening, so that hasn't happened yet for the E holders? Like, what's the situation with that again?
No. All the Ethereum holders got their airdrop.
Okay.
There was a secondary airdrop. There was a Telegram contest early back in the day, as well as a airdrop for the PulseX sacrifice set. There's like 4,500 people who claim that, and that has not happened yet. That will be happening within the next 48 hours or so. Just waiting on technical stuff.
Gotcha. Okay, so there's an airdrop for Pulse Chain and PulseX sacrificers that you can claim. Should be able to claim it on the Tetra website in the next 48 hours.
No. It's already had a claim phase, and it lasted for like 2 weeks. If you claimed, your address was entered in, and then once it was over, that's it. So it's a locked period. There's only 4,500 people that claimed during that time. So roughly. So those 4,500 people will get its airdrop here shortly.
Gotcha. It's been a few weeks. I was trying to remember the details. Okay, so if you had claimed it back then you will be getting that airdrop in the next 48 hours. Okay. Awesome. And what is again, people may not know about Tetra. Like, what is the timeline as far as I know it sounds like summer sometime. We're expecting some kind of platform that people can play with.
Yes. So I think in about 3 weeks we'll have, or maybe less, we'll have the private test net going to me and Red Squirrel and a few other guys, and then shortly thereafter we're going to have a public test net once we all kind of play with it a little bit and make sure nothing else is wrong or there's no issues with to deal with. So hopefully, I'm guessing 6 or so weeks from now, maybe 8, we'll have public beta testing for on PulseChain V4 for Tetra.
Okay, awesome. V4 for Tetra. So okay, on testnet, and then yeah, it's exciting, man. I know we've been covering Tetra for a while now. You've been involved too, and that, like I said, the website will be back up, and people can learn more about it. Is there, other than your channel, is there other information? I know on Twitter. Let's see. I was going to go to.
Well, the Twitter and the Telegram are the two main sources. So you go to the Tetra, go Tetra on the Telegram, and then the Twitter account is all the official information right now. That's all that's really happening right now at the moment. Once the website's up and running and all that data is sourced, we're supposed to have, as soon as that's up, I think what's going to be shown is the ability to go to testnet, I think, and stake your tokens so I think that's also going to be available, but we're waiting on all that to go through.
Gotcha. And yeah, I don't see that the Telegram listed here, but it is it t.me/Tetra win? Is that right?
It's Go. I think it's Go Tetra.
Tetra.
So Red Squirrel can link it to you.
Gotcha. I'll just yeah, that looks like it's right. I'll just put it in the chat in case people want to check it out. Yeah, for some reason StreamYard double posted me today. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, what else is going on? Are you having fun during the this meltdown of the entire ecosystem and all of our dreams just going down the toilet? How you doing out there?
Personally, I'm fine. I mean, I think there's a whole bunch of emotions in crypto that don't really need to be there because people are not really thinking rationally. We have a 45-day-old blockchain that's yet to be tested that has hardly anything running on it. So, I mean, what do you expect? Just be patient. Let all these protocols come online, and we can all use them. Then we'll have value and something to do with our tokens besides trading back and forth with each other.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. It's what are the opportunities we can do right now? I mean, there's hex staking, of course, validating. Single side staking seems to be up in the air, been deprioritized by Richard. It sounds like too. We got the LP pools, the farms. You've Nils came on a couple weeks ago. We went through all that and play with the LP portion and incentive token as well. What are some things to, I guess, look forward to, and what can people do right now to distract themselves from, price may not go up or maybe down and all that stuff?
Well, I mean, if you're sitting on assets, you want something to do, find you a safe LP pool or the farm and put your assets in and let them work for you. I mean, you also have Buck and all his stuff, the PHUX ecosystem. You can go play with that and provide liquidity there, earn fees. I think there's a couple other protocols that are launched that offering different things. I think 9inch is about to launch. Then you have Liquid Loans is still a couple weeks away. Power City's right on their heels. So that's what to look forward to. But in the meantime, just be patient. Earn yield best you can. And don't do dumb degen stuff.
Yep, that seems to be the consensus of I don't know. I think a lot of people were disappointed in single side staking. What is, I guess, let's ask that too. What is your take on the single side staking? Were you excited for it, or what are the pros and cons of having it or not having it? Or it sounds like we may have it eventually, but it's just not on Richard's list right now. What do you think?
Yeah, so the single side staking thing, I mean, it was a way that I think and early on to give some use case for PulseX. That's all it was for. Now, it wasn't necessary because I mean, PulseX has the main feature of PulseX is buy and burn. That's its thing. But aside from that, man, the DAO maybe the original discussion with the DAO, but the single side staking, as far as getting some free tokens from these third party projects, that's great and all. It'll locked up supply, but that's about it. we really, in reality, with the Earn protocol, we have much greater use case for PulseX with it than we do with single-side staking. I can at least have an asset and borrow against it. I can arb between it and other things, you see. So I have a much greater way to make money with PulseX when Earn comes out than I do with single-side staking.
That's the question people are asking too, is what is the, so, you know, single-side staking, let's say it comes, but it's you know, it's not super attractive because maybe Richard doesn't want it to be. He wants HEX to be protected. He wants people to have skin in the game or do risk and you know, trade all these things for the reward. Let's say, you know, whatever the APR is, it's okay, it's not great, but it's a place for people to put their PulseX. Is that the purpose? Or, I mean, do we need to rely on, you know, third-party products, or do you think natively PulseX, other than the buy and burn happening and things around the tokenomics on that side, can you see anything else like natively coming that's going to be used for PulseX? You think Richard has some other tricks, or we're just going to, you know, it's going to be like, you know, using minting stables and stuff from it?
I mean, I mean, if Richard does what he said he's going to do, eventually give it some use case, then great. But until then, it's up to us as a community to step up and, like for Liquid Loans and Power City and all, everybody who's going to end up using the Pulse and PulseX for other applications, that's where the values will come in. That's where it's going to drive the price up. And Richard just will come in when he's ready. And we really can't, look, we really can't wait on Richard. Richard gave us a blockchain. Oh, that's fine. It's up to us to make it valuable. And so we need to build stuff to make his products valuable. So Alex is working on stuff with Icosa, you know, and Hedron, and here we have, you know, Power City and Liquid Loans working on stablecoins, so we can arb between the two main assets. And Tetra's coming in to help automate all these processes. Then you have Buck and all the stuff from Famous and all those protocols, ability to borrow other things, to leverage, to short, to long. So, I mean, those things alone will give us a myriad of opportunities to Tetra can automate to really, you know, push your DeFi, you know, earnings to its highest potential in this current marketplace.
Yeah, there's so many good things happening. I think it's what I think Air Friend Somi, who got banned recently on Twitter. Shout out to Friends coming back to Twitter. Hopefully he'll be back soon, but he's still on YouTube. So I was watching one of his videos this morning. I think I tweeted about it. Let's see. I thought I did. Anyways, he was talking about, oh yeah, here we go. So this is you know, investor regrets not buying more crypto. It's discussion with Matty Allen, Toby Wan, somebody else I forget on there, talking about not buying. I think it was talking about not buying more HEX in the early days. But then he talks about too, people are addicted to these green candles. It's like that is the signal for success. That is the signal things are going well. The accumulation phase, the other side of the coin, the cyclical nature of this whole thing is not what gets people excited. And it's so hard to get out of that funk, out of that mindset, and to zoom out and be like, whoa, we have this, like you said, we have this whole new blockchain. We have this whole new experience. People are building around it. We have a lot of great products coming out. We have things you can do now. You know, there's so many things you can do. You can do nothing for one. You can accumulate. You could, stake and LP and farm, and you can't single side stake, or maybe you can later on. But there's all kinds of things to do, and that and the combination. Okay, we waited 2 years. What we wait for? Also, single side staking was on testnet, on the BSC fork testnet, testnet 2VB or V2B. Wasn't on 3, wasn't on 4, but people still expected it. That was baked into the tokenomics. Is it just this, whirlwind of like, we just don't have a lot of good news right now that's good in the eyes of the person who's looking for green candles? Or is this just going to be the most flying under the radar news and year and thing we can possibly expect? Is it like, I don't know, are people going to find the good in our ecosystem anytime soon?
Yeah, it's coming. I know on August 31st there'll be some good coming to the ecosystem for sure. But Tetra can only work really and really have a robust use case if there's other things it can work with, like Liquid Loans, Power City, Famous, and stuff like that. So and so we are we ourselves are waiting for them to launch too. And so on testnet they have their stuff, and we'll be working with it here shortly. And that's what we're looking forward to, because that's really going to give us the for us, it's going to give us the ideas and the concepts, and hopefully we'll show people, hey, look, this is what you can look forward to when these guys launch. We can automate all these cool strategies. Look what you can do. And so, and then with Power City, and they have that Portal X, which allows us to do some multi-chain aggregation. We have opportunity to do multi-chain arbitration with stable coins and stuff like that. So there's a lot of opportunity out there. It's just that the tools are being built as we speak. So we just got to be patient. And yes, the whales have dumped. People who we thought were cool or who were pillars have dumped their tokens. It doesn't matter. Patience is the key. And founders and long-term holders are always the winners in crypto. That's always the way it's been. So if you're looking for a quick buck, well, then you're not going to get it right now. You may get lucky here and there and may catch a meme coin, but really the true value is going to be built in the near future. But now's the time you accumulate. So if you're smart, accumulate the things you know they're going to go up in value, things that will have good product market fit, and go that route. And be patient for these protocols to come out so we can all enjoy the fruits of the labors we have no expectations of.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I think when I first got into crypto, I mean, I'm working my third cycle now, and you don't really, I could see myself in my first cycle, I could see myself in my second cycle, and then now it's more of I definitely felt like a bag holder in the first two cycles, and but I've always felt that ideal of waiting. Waiting is okay. Waiting, I've been fortunate enough not to need to cash out or have to make a lot of hard decisions around it. And it's all, and I never, I don't try not to oversack or overinvest and all these things too. It's there's all these things I think can get in your way and distract you from understanding the value prop and the reason why people get in. And a lot of people are very successful, but a lot of people will be on crypto Twitter for the next 10 or 15 years, not by their choosing, just because they keep getting in the meat grinder, the cycle, actually, I had all my coins in this really good coin, but now I see all these shiny objects. Let me put some more in here. Let's put 10%, I'll put another 10%. And eventually, their time, their consciousness gets hooked in products that just aren't healthy, aren't going to have the green candles or are going to trick them into thinking it's something that it's not. They're not going to catch the top. They're not going to catch the bottom, all these things. So it's been an interesting experience for me too, just being in the market and being able to, I guess the opposite of like getting out early. It's like, I feel like I never want to get out. I don't know. It's not that I never want to. I mean, I hope one day, I hope I'm not on crypto Twitter forever. Honestly, I hope no one is. I think that's not my highest calling. I don't hope it's, I think it's a lot of people's highest calling either. But in the meantime, being able to provide utility, being able to work on and talk to people, providing, starting up projects that are just really, first of all, cool. I like Tetra for a lot of reasons too, and a lot of other projects you mentioned. And, but two, just be able to put yourself, like take your, whatever talents you have and then put them in the ecosystem and then make something out of it. And in the meantime, while you're waiting to get rich, at least like go do some cool stuff, go help some people, go make some friends. And I think that's the most underrated part. Like people's emotions are so much controlled by the candle color that they don't really, it's not the journey, it's the destination kind of thing, or vice versa. But it's like you're missing out in between. And I don't know, life is too good to be sad. I think we're in one of the most true, fair, honest, awesome ecosystems. And just because we're not getting green candles, like look around, there's all kinds of other cool stuff going on. Distract yourself in the meantime, and then maybe one day we'll get some more stuff going. But I'm excited for 2023. Cycles and stuff. Maybe 2024, 2025 is the top. Who knows? People are saying that too. But 2023, forget Pulse Chain launching. That was awesome. But just thinking about the stuff that's coming out, the stuff you talked about too this summer, the products that haven't launched yet, all the opportunities we haven't got to participate in. There's a lot of the SAC money getting unleashed. We had the Pulse Chain PulseX stuff coming out, but now we got all the other SACs we got, that are coming out too. A lot of the capital is getting unlocked. Yeah, maybe people are going to sell, maybe they're going to buy, but I don't know. I think there's plenty to be excited about. But it's getting people to zoom out and see that, and not just see all the bad or what they may see as bad and others may see as opportunity. That's so hard. And I don't know. I'm glad to be around to talk about it, because I don't see a lot don't see a lot of streams these days. I don't see a lot of people watching these days. Now after Pulse Chain launched, it was getting hundreds of people for just about every stream, and now we're barely over 50 right now. So I don't know. That's my long-winded way of saying that I'm glad you're still around too. Yeah, I guess when you look around and you see people still here, it's like, oh, okay, there's just some true believers around.
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't posted any new content myself, only because I'm waiting for the product to come out. There's no point in me doing strategies until the product. I was just going to hold off. Just a personal decision. Give myself a chance to take a break before I get hard at it, But I mean, I have nothing but hope personally. I don't know why everybody's fighting, and I mean, I have nothing but hope. So this is, to me, is like the calm before the storm. So, but maybe that's because I understand what Tetra can do and how powerful these other protocols are, that I can unleash that power, in an automated way, that I'm like excited. I just can't wait. So, I mean, it just like, I don't know what everybody else is thinking, but I have nothing but hope for the future. So this is time to accumulate. I mean, if I had more dry powder, I'd be buying all I could, but everybody's in their own situation monetarily and everything and stuff. And maybe people overextend themselves and did things they were expecting a quick 10X and they didn't get it. And they're depressed now or whatever. I understand, but look, this is crypto. There's no expectations. So don't put up any more than you can afford to lose, That's the way it is. And if you hadn't learned that by now, then you're probably in the wrong game.
Expectations, the root of all disappointment, I like to call it too. Yeah, it's see, I had a question. My sacrifice hex is up 40x. I don't understand. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing too. It's all the sacrifice that got locked up. It's easy to forget these. I almost wish there was a infographic that showed all the benefits the sacrificers got, even though the price is below. It didn't go to the moon on day one. Please, someone make that infographic. I will tweet it, retweet it, and thank you for it. It's so easy to look past that and make that kind of content too. I was going to ask about the WBTC stuff. So what do you make of the BTC farms coming back? Let me pull up Richard's tweet. The new farm of, yeah. So this one, so it was there the first week or two. I feel like it came out and then it got pulled. What do you have any thoughts on why it got pulled in the first place and why it's back?
Yeah, I saw that. I thought it was kind of odd. Now remind me that this is the copied wrap Bitcoin with the real bridged in wrap Bitcoin, right?
Correct.
So what's the point? I mean, it's a copy of Bitcoin, a wrap Bitcoin. I mean, it's okay. But it has no intrinsic value. I mean, as far as what's backing it besides the liquidity that was in there, maybe a few other pools that might have some associated liquidity that's on Pulse Chain. That's it.
It kind of makes me go of why does anything have any value? But
I know that, but this one is like okay, yeah, Bitcoin, which is worth a lot, and then you get this thing here is like worth what? The copy was it worth $100 or something? I don't know what it's worth. I haven't looked.
Yeah, $100 now. Crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, somebody thinks it has value.
Well, you think this plays into the liquidity bonding, but also I saw some clips, people playing clips and stuff too of, Richard's like, oh, I got some tricks in my sleeve as far as the copies having value or things like that. Is there certain coins having value, whether it's WBTC, whether it's, Link or whatever it is? Are there certain ones? I feel like WBTC having value is it's great for marketing, first of all, to like Bitcoiners and even Ethereum people and showing that the network copies can have values. Now, why they have values and what you can do with them is a different story. But is it just to be impressed? Like, what do you, when you see Richard, promoting this and being like, hey, Bitcoiners, you have a free airdrop, it's worth money. Is it, yeah, I guess the question is, why will that be used for something else? Will there be some kind of like Bitcoin type stuff going on PulseX or in Pulse Chain ecosystem? Is it just like a pure onboarding thing? Got to think. Will somebody build around it? Will the community build on it?
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess if somebody wanted to build something using that copy, well, I mean, in that case, I could do something on Tetra and build something, make it have a use case. I mean, that wouldn't be that hard. So there could be
staking
yeah.
ink or staking WBTC.
Yeah, so yeah, I could do something like that, without any trouble, to give it a use case, so we could, give it some value. Now you have even more value because it becomes something that earns other capital. So then it starts becoming more sought after because people can stake it. Well, maybe then it'll encourage these Bitcoin holders to bridge more over or whatever. There's more value in the ecosystem. Now we have more value locked and all this stuff. So it could be marketing. I mean, all these things take time, though, right? So like Richard's like, the devs aren't going to work so fast. I understand that. We can only work so fast. I mean, Stu and his dev team can only build his Tetra as fast as they can. Liquid Loans can only have their audits go as fast as they can. Our city the same way. And so all these guys, as we build stuff, it's just going to take some time to get the stuff up. Once it's all up and running, then we can, take all our toys and play with them, right, in our big sandbox. And that's what we're looking forward to. So a little more patience. Let's do some thinking about what we're doing. Maybe Richard's looking at bringing people in. They can get free money. Great. There's nothing wrong with that. I think it's good to get people to come in the ecosystem. Hey, it's faster and cheaper to transact over here than it is on Ethereum. So let me do some transactions over here with my Bitcoin and stuff like that. That's always been kind of like the narrative, right? Bring people over so they can transact quicker and cheaper.
So Neil, are you calling it here? Are you building on WBTC? Are we going to be able to stake it with Tetra?
Yeah, I'll do one for it. No problem. Won't be a problem at all. Heck, we'll let you even stake the real BTC. Hey,
the PWBTC and the WBTC.
Yeah. Well, we'll come up with something on Tetra. I'll have a strategy just for it. So we'll have fun with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it sounds like Richard would like that if nobody else would. So how would it work if you were, staking? We talked about this before, but people who are not familiar, if you're staking ink, you talked about that, staking the PWBTC, for example, you have a strategy to do that. Would you earn stable coins from that? How does that work again?
Yeah, we would have a strategy that would allow you to stake these coins, and then within the strategy, we'd have mechanisms that would pay you yield by staking. I can't go into details because we're still under wraps, but that's how it would work. I can't. There's a lot of stuff in the background we're working on, so I don't want to give anything away right now. But yeah, we will basically offer single-sided staking concepts with Tetra.
All right. Single-sided, and then you talked about how to. I think I asked you before. How would you compete with APR? Are there knobs to adjust APR in Tetra for these different strategies?
Well, an APR is a function of market, so a lot of the strategy will be a function of the market sentimentality at any given time. So if you have big moves one way or the other, it affects APR across the board. And you see, just like we see with the pairs and stuff we see now in the farms, the APR fluctuates. It'll be potentially the same way because we can't force or make things happen. The strategies only deploy when market conditions are ripe for the opportunities. So that's it'll be that way throughout most strategies. Now, some strategies can work better, like you can short things or long things and stuff like that. That's different ways that, like on a smaller scale, to maximize gains. But the overall stuff will just be a function of how the market is and how much money is coming in and out at any given time.
Gotcha. Mr. Chuck has a question. Thoughts on third-party yield percentage single-sided stake in PulseX? I think less than, some people talk about 4%, 5%. Do you think Richard will, if we get single-sided staking, do you think he'll make the APR, it'll basically look at HEX and be like, all right, what's less than HEX and do that? How do you think that?
I don't think it'll matter because the way it was designed, remember, these are supposed to be giveaway tokens. The APR can be a lot. It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, it's a finite supply. See, none of this is like meant forever stuff. It's like you got, say, 10 billion tokens you're going to give away on the single side staking. And when they're gone, they're gone. So it don't matter what the APR is. That's really not a competition with HEX because these are things people are for adoption, not necessarily for long-term value gains.
Well, I think the thought on why he would even be against single-sided staking is the optimizing towards things that have some sort of skin in the game, some kind of risk to them. And Hex is kind of the only game in town where there's no, other than opportunity cost, other than trusting a smart contract that hasn't been hacked in 4 years. That is the low risk way to earn yield over time, and the potential for PulseX or the other coins to cannibalize on that, or the farms even with the EHEX PX thing, which I mean there's some different nuance for that one. But so you don't think that if we had single-sided staking and it was like, oh, you earn all these third-party tokens that would make people, or you just don't think there's a risk to Hex with that you don't think people be less likely to, or it's not even less likely to participate, because I know it's two different coins, maybe two different people who own those coins, or maybe some own all of one and none of the other. But it's not a move to protect Hex, you don't think?
I don't think he's going to worry about it. If he wanted to protect Hex, he'd have never launched Pulse Chain. Think about it.
There is a point to.
I mean,
don't like Pulse Chain.
I mean, it dumped. I mean, it's a fact. So Hexicans did whatever, these whales did what they did. Price dumped, and now here we are. So if he was so worried about the price of Hex, he would have never launched Pulse Chain. But he knew, Richard. Yeah, short term. Yeah, Richard knew what was going to happen. I mean, it was the obvious play. What's going to have more X's sooner, Hex or Pulse? And people betted on Pulse, so that's why they dumped the price of Hex. It's just that simple.
Yeah, I didn't mean to people that a lot of Hexans don't like Pulse Chain, but I meant to say more of like they know that Pulse Chain is short term. It's not bullish for Hex. I think that's like kind of based on the mechanics and stuff. Like you said, it's pretty simple to break that one down. I mean, I love Hex. I love Pulse Chain a lot too, but it is one of those things like, okay, I know when this launches, a lot of maybe the capital, a lot of the attention, a lot of the bells and whistles and stuff are going to get diverted away from Hex. But in the long term, I feel like having a platform set up to promote these kind of like healthy ideals and these like true fair winners and stuff like that, it's worth it. Short-term pain though, maybe I tried to avoid thinking about that pain for a while until it finally like, hey, stock split. Wasn't that so obvious in hindsight, perhaps? Anyways, title of the stream is 99 Problems in Crypto, but Hex, Pulse Chain, and PulseX ain't one. As far as Hex goes too, I'd really try to talk about Hex more because I don't think a lot of people do anymore. It's kind of like one of those weird things, other than the people building on it, like the Hedron and all the derivatives, Maximus and all that too. What has made you think, I'm assuming you have Hex stakes and all this stuff too, and maybe for a while now. Why aren't you worried about Hex after all these things we've seen the last few weeks? What makes you, or are you worried? Like, how do you currently feel about Hex and your bags right now?
I mean, most of my stakes are far enough out that the short term doesn't bother me. I mean, that's because I looked at it as a long term solution for to earn with value. So I never looked at Hex as anything short term. So most of my stuff is 5 years on and beyond. So I'm not really worried about it in the short term. I knew Pulse Chain's an anomaly in the Hex path of growth because it's different, it's new, it was needed because of Ethereum. Therefore, the Hex price will eventually go back to where it was once Pulse Chain gets settled. We get all the protocols and there's more liquidity. And look, we're going to have Hex strategies out the wazoo on Tetra to use and get more Hex and to stake it and to compound it and all the wonderful things you can do with it. And Hycosa and Hedron, you name it, So I'm not worried about it. Hex is going to be the best long-term, store of value there is crypto, and nothing really can take its place. In the meantime, we still got to eat, right? You're still going to make a living. You're still going to earn some yield. So you had the short-term yields with all your DeFi products, and then Hex is your long-term plan. And that's how you think of it, and just keep thinking long-term. And if you wanted to run like 30-day and 60-day and 90-day stakes, go right ahead. But you're going to fight the T-share rate. That's just a fact. But you can do it in a pooled way now. We got Stakehouse coming out, right? They're going to have their pooled strategies. I think Maximus and the pool party and all that stuff. They get the derivatives. They have their stuff. You got, I think, Fair Hex that has ways to earn extra yield right now with a short-term stake. And then people can create their own pool strategies on Tetra with Hex and how they want to do that. So really the sky's the limit. And HEX has a lot of room to grow, and we have a lot of opportunities to make HEX even better than what it is now.
Yeah, I think that there's so many times I've thought about, man, when Pulse Chain and PulseX goes to the moon or INC and otherwise, I keep thinking about how am I going to get more. One thought has been like, I hope I can still get the T-shares, because it's like I want to keep locking those up. I want to keep making these. Personally, I like making these bets on HEX and being that long-term savings account and something appreciates over time and all that. When people see charts, and I guess this is probably a generous chart, if anything, too. When people are looking at charts like this and they're like, what are you guys talking about? What are you talking about? The thing's down 99%. There's nothing but like, it hasn't went down. It's only went down after Pulse Chain launch, all this, Godwell stuff and everything is happening. How do you, like, what's wrong with you? Like, why do you keep promoting this stuff? What would you say with people who are just have these questions and they see like, oh, that down, well, wow, it's under a penny now. Those HEX, what is going on? How do you even, do you even talk to them? How do you think about that?
I would tell people, I say, look, HEX already went up to 50 cents one time because people were looking at places to get yield, right? And this is good, safe yield to get. And it's a store of value. And as time goes on, HEX will be paired with other things with good value. So the price of HEX is going to go up eventually, especially on Pulse Chain. Because we're going to see more and more things pair with HEX, and with bond liquidity, everything goes up in value. HEX is going to go up with it. You can't help but go up with it. So all the HEX Pulse pair, what do you think is going to happen when Pulse goes up? HEX is going to go up, and so then people buy it because it goes up because they chase green candles. That's just the psychology of people. So I don't really worry about the price now. Now's a buying opportunity. You collect now because. Guess what? It don't take just a couple people with a lot of money to push the price up, especially as low as the liquidity is right now. And so, don't worry about the price today if you have long-term thinking. How much HEX are you going to get in 5 years if you stake it now? Put $1,000 in today, you're better off than you were, 8 months ago because the prices were very high. You got way more HEX. The T-share rate's up. You probably have more T-shares. So, what's the better play for you? Because T-shares are king. That's the thing. And if they can understand that concept, I think they'd appreciate what HEX can do, because it's become harder and harder and harder to get these T-shares, and then harder and harder and harder to generate the better yields.
Well, what is Richard's? We talked about different kind of liquidity bonding and wanting copies to have value. And just the whole vision of giving HEX stakers a place to cheaply transact and in stakes and all that stuff too. What do you think? How do you think about Richard's vision? And I think it'll happen over time. I think the PulseX updates or lack thereof, that everything is not polished right now. Everything is not there is intentional. I think it'll roll out features over time. And Richard doesn't want everyone just to have everything at once and be like, oh, now I'm bored. Let me just go away and just stuff all their stuff. But what do you think about his vision, and how can people better understand that this isn't a launch, get rich, go away kind of thing? Like how can they think about the way that he's, he wants to achieve glory, he wants to create the best products and reward people who, practice these values and stuff. What do you think his vision for Pulse Chain is, and how's it going to play out this year and into the future?
Well, Richard's obviously playing all this close to his chest. For whatever reason. Now, we don't know the reasons. Maybe it's legal. Maybe it's just technical. Maybe it's just he's looking at it. He's playing a long game. Now, I think Richard is human, though. He's not perfect, so he might have realized and missed some things that may have caught him off guard in this whole process. Because he's not a dev technically. He has devs that work for him. So, and all that went down and how Pulse Chain launched, I think Richard probably saw some stuff that's like, look, we got to address and deal with because we want it right. And so he's maybe got to take a step back and make sure that things are right before he just goes full bore and like he was in the past. But I think he's obviously a brilliant genius guy, so he's going to do the right thing at the end. But for us, we're just impatient. Now that we have the toy, we want all the accessories to go with it, and he's going to give them to us eventually. But I think he's going to make sure they're going to be done right before he hands them out, because we tend to break our toys. So we want things to work right. And I would rather have something work right and do what it's supposed to do than have problems and have glitches and slowdowns and have to have updates and all this stuff. And I know Richard doesn't like that. I'm sure it probably aggravated him to have V2 as an option for PulseX. But what else is he going to do? That ship had already sailed. So you do what you can with it. It's coding. It's technology, and it's hard.
You definitely made the best out of it. Honestly, I think it was a blessing in disguise. I mean, of course, we want no bugs. We want no, things to go out smoothly. But I was like, I could see him looking at it as, okay, opportunity. Let's test this game theory. Let's figure it out. Like, this is if I'm trying to, or if the idea is to get people who believe to stick with it and get the best prices and be rewarded the most. If we shake out the people who can't tolerate things being unpolished or the game theory not being completely worked out in one way or another, or otherwise, here's another opportunity to do that. Let's make you have a very moderate experience with the ecosystem but the people who are like, yeah, that doesn't matter to me because I believe in the bigger picture are going to stick around. So actually, I think, he definitely tries to do that too. I want to get this comment, FOMO. I want to say, it's hard to pronounce it sometimes. FOMO-phobic. HEX is a big problem. BankX, ETH will die. Yeah. How have you thought about the whole BankX deal? Do you think they're going to get an OTC deal? Does it matter? Are we always going to have that premium or that discount on EHEX? How do you think about that?
I don't know. The whole BankX thing with Lance and Godwell and all that mess. I looked at that. And my question to everybody is this. If EHEX had not dumped at all, it was 7, 8, 6 cents, whatever, let's say it's that right now. And Lance got the bag and he was doing rolling stakes. Would we really care? If the price action was going up, would we care if Lance dumped some? As long as it didn't hurt the price too bad? Probably not. I think we only care now because the price is down and he's going to keep pushing it down, right? He's got a big bag. So if there was more economic energy the other way, he wouldn't really matter. People just buy his bags. So I think it's only because we are where we are, people making more out of it than really, because the HEX, there's other people with a lot of HEX too, not just Lance. Lance is one of many that could dump at any time. So what about those whales? What about people who have stakes ending who are OG Hexicans? They're ending right now. They will take profits. They're in profit. They were early on. Are we gonna you get mad at them? I mean, it's their right to take profits because they believed in Richard.
Yep.
So I think it's just because of the sin of the market. I think we're making a lot out of some of these things that really need to be. I mean, look, man, it's BankX does what they want to do. I don't know anything about them. I mean, as far as on the technical level, I've talked to Lance personally. That's about it. But Godwell did what he did. That's between Lance and Godwell.
He said between Lance and Godwell. That's between him and God. Godwell. Yes. That's funny. Last question. We'll wrap up here. Mr. Chuck asked, you think that EHEX and HEX liquidity pool and PulseX was pulled because people were earning more money than earning INC at the time. INC's went down quite a bit than staking HEX, or let them exist separately. Yeah. What do you think the EHEX PX liquidity pool was pulled? Was that to protect HEX again, or you don't think it's related?
Yeah, I have a feeling. Look how much ink went up. People were just in emergency in stake and everything to get in those pools because it's better yield. So I think Richard's like, nah, I don't want to mess my HEX up. But people were dumb and did it right, and just destroyed their bags to make a few extra dollars, which is very, very short-sighted on their part. And they're like, well, you know what? Sometimes you play the game, sometimes you lose. And none of these farms are guaranteed forever. Not one of them.
Yeah, that's the thing. When you got somebody picking the farms, yesterday, I still don't know. Has PulseChain been slow for you today? Like, but some of the transactions, I don't know if they're going to fail or what, but mine have been spinny for a while. I don't know if it's from the WBTC pool being added or some of the other crazy amount of transactions happening. How have you noticed things?
Every now and then I will run to a little slow time. It don't last maybe 10 or 20 minutes. I just have some transactions that take a little while, or the or the PulseX front end that needs to be reloaded a couple times to give the data to me. But that's about it. But I don't spend a lot of time on there. I mean, be honest with you, I mean, since I do my farming, I do my DCA, and I'm done. You know, because I'm not a degen. You know, I'm not looking at charts constantly trying to catch a bottom. I'm waiting for one of these protocols to launch. So that's kind of how I feel about it.
You're not gonna have a job when Tetra launches, man. What are you gonna do then?
Well, I'll be doing Tetra when Tetra launches.
Yeah.
That's already been like, yeah, Neil's going to be doing Tetra for Tetra. That's Neil's job now, to do strategies and help people and all kind of good stuff.
That's gonna be cool. Yeah, and I'm talking about the DeFi automation, what Neil was talking about, clicking buttons and farming and all that. That a lot of it, we hope the ideal, the dream, the project is successful, because if it does, it opens up a lot of free strategies and tools and stuff that people can use and deploy. Also can create a lot of traffic as a pulse chain validator. I'm excited about more traffic, means more fees, means more profit stuff there, and just opens up a lot of possibilities. So excited for that. Yeah. Anything else? Anything else? What do you want to take us out on, Neil? Good?
August 31st, we're launching on our protocol, but Tetra is going to be the Tetra Atlas is only the first part of many things we're going to be building on the ecosystem. So you stay tuned. As once Tetra launches on August 31st, there'll be other things we'll be working on to build out and to further, help build and strengthen the DeFi space as a whole. And our goal is really to decentralize DeFi.
Decentralized DeFi. Yeah. What I said the other day, it was like Ethereum's the world computer. Tetra is like the plumbing for the world computer, plumbing for Pulse Chain.
Correct. So we are layer zero. We are layer zero. Protocol agnostic.
I like that. Very cool, man. Yeah, thanks for hopping on. Axis messaged me earlier and said that he's going to come on next week, it sounds like. So I'm glad you're able to hop on. And I think it's too early for Sloth. He's got school stuff and stuff going on. So just wanted to have a stream, and glad I reached out so you could come on here and talk about cool stuff.
Yeah, I was at work when you hit me. I was like, well, shoot, I just got off work. I was like, I'm gonna jump on stream real quick. I'm in my truck now, so
nice.
On the road.
Nice. Well, have a good rest of your evening, and get something to eat. Oh, I'm fasting, by the way. So yeah, eat all the food for me. I will not be eating for probably a couple days or so. So
yeah, I just did a 48-hour on myself. So
nice. That's awesome. Yep. Yeah, I'm going for at least that. Maybe I might go 3 days, and I may try for 3 days. We'll see. And I got another one scheduled in a couple weeks. So shout out to health as well.
That's right.
Let's work on that. All right, everyone. That's all we got for you today. Scivive and 5555. We are out.